What's going on, guys? My name is Hunter, the community manager of TRON DAO, and today we're bringing to you episode 27 of Around the Block, featuring Allbridge. And as always, Around the Block is co-hosted by eJazz, TRON's developer manager. All right, let's get right into it.
We can start about you, So let's start with the individual first, and then we can kind of go into what you guys are doing at Allbridge later on. But we're more curious about what you do, and mostly about yourself, and then you can also mention how you got started in blockchain as well.
Okay, so I'm originally of an IT background, and I'm Master of Science of Information Systems Management. And most of my life before crypto, let's say since 2003 until 2015, I've been building data centers, like specializing in networking and switching. I'm Cisco guy, Cisco certified network professional. So I know a thing or two about the tech stuff. Now, eventually in 2015, when my friends told me about crypto, and I'm sorry, I'm not like the real OG. I would love to say that I mined first Bitcoin in 2009. I didn't. I arrived a bit late, but 2015 was a cool year. So what we did, we started building mining facilities around Ukraine. So basically, I utilized my experience in building data centers and just switched it to the mining equipment, which was pretty fun. I sold everything, like literally everything. All we mined, we sold on a monthly basis.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the majority of ETH that I had, I sold at $30. So you can imagine the pain.
I think I remember, my first ETH when I was buying was like $20. But if you're mining it and then selling it at 30 instead of holding, that's not too fun.
Yeah, it pains me right now. But anyways, it is what it is. So in 2017, I started helping my school friend, Dima, with his project called Hacken. He's specializing in cybersecurity, doing smart contracts audits. He's still around, quite big in the space, runs a company. I think he has like 100 security auditors or something. He's pretty big. Then I've been interested in crypto payments. So I played with integrating crypto with NCR, which is one of the world's leading POS providers, point of sales devices. You probably should have seen them. I mean, if you've been around in the space. So whenever you call this waiter for the bill, and he or she walks to this machine, presses like print the bill. This is the point of sale device where we did the integration to make sure people can pay with crypto. It turned out that people don't want to pay with crypto.
They want to hold.
They want to hold. And I mean, it was 2018 and 2019. So the market was going down. People were not interested in paying at all. So basically, this is when I dropped this idea. And a year later, I started looking in DeFi, which resulted in founding the company, which eventually became Allbridge, together with my partner, Yuri, where I handle investment relationship, business development, doing interviews, flying around the world for the conferences. And my partner is more in charge of the technical team and everything related to the development.
But also, how'd you come up with the name Allbridge?
It was actually fun because it was not called Allbridge when we founded the company. It was called Soulbridge because we connected Solana from day one. And we sort of looked at the market and we saw that all the bridges out there, they're like EVM to EVM, which is not fun. So we wanted to play something different. And because Yuri had expertise in Rust, we wanted to utilize this expertise. And we called originally the company Soulbridge. But then when we grew from like original 4 chains that we supported to 18 chains, over this time, we felt that we are not just the bridge to Solana, we are something different. So we rebranded. I think we rebranded in 2021, like early there. And we changed the name. We changed the name to better reflect our vision that we really want to connect all the chains on the market, especially those that are lacking bridges at the moment. So this is like our ultimate idea.
Gotcha.
And then over time, we became really interested in stable coins. And because in my part of the world, the most commonly used stable right now, it is USDT on TRON. I started looking what is the proper decentralized way to bridge USDT on TRON and to swap it here and there to other stables. And that ultimately led us to this moment where now we have the possibility. Yes, because for me, I've been using USDT or on TRON, I think for the last, I don't know, maybe four years or something, because originally it has been on Omni layer, right? USDT most commonly used. Then it moved to Ether. Ether became congested, really congested with USDT. And then USDT settled on TRON chain and it became de facto standard. Like everyone I know, in Ukraine, in the nearby countries, whenever you want to do a payment, you will get the address on TRON for USDT. This is like just how the market works. And usually people, they do this crazy thing that if they want to convert USDT on TRON to, let's say, USDC on other chain, they deposit it to the exchange and then withdraw from the exchange. And I literally think that is not the way it should be. So when I started prototyping the stable version of the bridge with native stable swaps, I wanted really to connect TRON to other networks so we can do it properly decentralized. That was, what I've been thinking of and why I think it is really important. Because I know that, for example, in the States, people use a lot USDC on different chains. But again, in East, the more East we go, the more we see USDT TRC20. As I said, this is the standard.
It is the standard. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. And then even right now, I don't know if you know this, but TRON has the most circulating stable coins out of all the networks. I think we're at like $40 billion in USDT at the moment. And then there's obviously USDC and then all the other stable coins, whoever own USDD. But right now, the stablecoin volume, like most transactions, goes through the TRON blockchain just because it's fast, it's cheap, it's efficient, and it just makes sense. And it's very popular in other countries except for the United States at the moment. But I believe, and that's why TRON DAO US is here, is kind of helping to get the word out and showing the value of the use case and going to all these different conferences like ETH Denver and Consensus and BTC Miami and all the other big names, and kind of just networking with everybody here in the States and showing them what it is that TRON has to offer, because it just makes sense.
Absolutely. I really think that it is important that more people are aware of that, especially within the States community, because they are just using other coins, other stables, and other networks. And after, the recent events with USDC, which are sort of hard to ignore, we all lived through this weekend, right?
Yeah, and that was crazy to see. Did not ever expect it to happen. And I've been watching the market the second I woke up and then ordered my Starbucks. My phone's in my hand now just to check it because I'm always watching. Bitcoin has been doing extremely well. We broke 26K.
Yeah, this morning, and then it's gone a little bit back down. Oh, so Andre, where do you? So since let me go back to the last question. So was when you were with your co-founder in the parking lot, was the idea of where Allbridge is now the idea you had at that moment, or did it evolve throughout iterations of working with the market in different kind of ideas coming back and forth?
Yeah, it did evolve, because what we built originally, it was the traditional mint and burn bridge. And if you think about the architecture of the bridges that are it's more commonly used on the market, it is like that. You've got chain A, you sign the transaction, it goes to the bridge. Then there is chain B, the receiving chain. You need to be on this chain to be able to sign the receiving transaction. And what you end up with, an asset that is essentially created by the bridge, which we call a wrapped asset. So it is not going to be like real USDT. It's gonna be, in our case, USDT created by Allbridge on specific chain, which, to be honest, sucks from the user experience. So this is how we ended up with building our next bridge, the one that we are talking right now about, the one that allows people to easily swap different, like let's say BUSD from Binance chain, or USDC from Solana, or DAI from Ethereum to USDT on Tron. So we wanted to do two things. Like, first of all, we wanted to make sure that the user always receives the real asset. So no more wrapped assets, just forget about it. Forget about fragmentation of liquidity, forget about different bridges creating different assets. No, we want to make sure that the users get the real assets. And second thing, we wanted to make sure that the users can get the transaction no matter if they have gas token or not. This is what we recently deployed. So we first did sending and receiving transaction on behalf of the user, paying the gas fee on the destination chain. And then we pushed it even further. So the user can right now include extra fee that would be converted to the gas token. So whenever a new wallet is created and the user sends the stable coins, then those stable coins that will land there will also have gas tokens. So whoever gets this new wallet can already jump into the market with it. And I think it is really important in terms of adoption for users.
That is extremely important, like in many ways.
Yeah,
Let me go back then to the beginning, and let's just say a brand new user or getting into crypto, let's, for like their own sake, maybe go through you may have just done it, but let's do it again. Let's say, why would somebody want to use Allbridge, and then the steps that they would take from beginning to end?
Okay, so whoever doesn't want to deposit the stables to an exchange and take the stables on the other side will want to use Allbridge. In case this person is interested in using and utilizing non-EVM chains. There are bridges out there. There are even bridges that give you native stablecoin experience, but they are always focused on EVMs. And I personally think that this is not right. So if you want to be able to interact with USDC on Tron and being able to transfer stables into it and out of it, you will probably come to me.
That's awesome.
Just like that. I will also explain why I am speaking right now about stables, why stables are important. Because over time, doing the bridges, I realized that people are interested in transferring the value between the chains. And the easiest way to make sure that people are happy with the exchange rates, it is to stick to the stables. Because it is hard to, let's say you want to exchange Ethereum on Ethereum network to Tron on Tron. And it makes this whole process a mess, like the exchange rates, the slippage, the transfer, the finalizing. With stables, it is just much more straightforward. You take, 1,000 USDT here, you've got 1,000 USDT or USDC or BUSD or DAI there. That's it.
It just makes sense. It makes it so much easier. And yeah, I've been on strange websites in the past trying to convert like ETH or Tron into other things that are other tokens. And it's like, is this the right conversion? I have to go on like to another website or CoinMarketCap and type it in and be like, okay, is this a good fee or is this a good trade? And then sometimes it's not, or sometimes there's bad like gas fees or slippage or anything. So it kind of just makes sense to use stables. And if you're sending $100, you're getting $100 in that other asset.
Right.
Yeah. And then users are free to do with those $100 whatever they want. They can stake them, invest them, trade them, send them anywhere else. I don't know, settle poker game. We recently played a few poker games at crypto events, and we were settling in USDT on Tron. That's the adoption I'm speaking about.
That's a great idea for a Will Night idea or some sort of event that we do. Great idea. I love that. So the reason why I got this question is we were talking earlier about how people got into crypto and how we analyze different cryptos and different stable coins. Andre, how do you typically look at the market? What are your kind of tools? Do you use Binance, KuCoin, how are you you seem to have a good eye for DeFi or understanding how it is. What are your ways of understanding the market? If someone was brand new to DeFi, how would you help them understand how to use crypto and
So
DeFi?
if we look back, let's say to 2015, I do remember the majority of people were using Poloniex. That was like the main exchange. Then for some reason it became less popular, but then I've seen that it was acquired by new owners. I think that probably we will see some development there. I still hold my account on Poloniex, and I do remember good old days when it was like #1 exchange for everyone in the community. Then I do remember Bittrex getting popularity, then losing popularity. Binance stepped in, attracted tons of users. A lot of users are super happy with Binance. And honestly, I also use Binance a lot. But if we go to DeFi space more, that means that now we should be looking at decentralized solutions rather than the centralized one. And here it gets more complicated because now you need to be able to use DeFi, you will need DEX, you will need a bridge, you will probably need some lending protocols if you want to play around here and there. Maybe you will want to see some other options. And there are so many chains on the market and there are so many possibilities that it is really hard to, to figure out which of them are the best one to use. I use DeFi Llama a lot.
DeFi Llama.
Yeah.
DeFi Llama.
Yeah,
it is
cool.
Yeah, I think it is pretty convenient. Then I use DEX tools. Also,
DEX tools?
That's the new one. DEX tools. I don't think I've heard of that one.
DEX tools. I even met someone from their foundation team in Denver, even though I didn't know them before, but it could be helpful. And then, I mean, it comes up to the whole variety of the ecosystem projects and the tools they use. They're really dependent on the chain you're interested in. So for me, I try always to play with all the other bridges on the market just to get this feeling what is happening here and there, pick up some ideas, see what competitors are doing. It is important, but Absolutely. It is hard. Yeah, this is part of my life, right? When you're building bridges, you need to know about bridges.
That's true. So then that means for you with Allbridge, you have to be building on all these different blockchains that you're connecting to. So that means which blockchains is Allbridge connected to now? Like, do you know them all? Is there like a lot?
Okay, so the answer to this question, it depends on whether you want to speak about stablecoin bridge or the mint and burn bridge, which we call classic. So we are running two bridges at the same time. One is focused solely on stablecoins and native stables experience, on which we at the moment have 4 stablecoins. So we've got USDT, USDC, BUSD, and DAI.
Nice.
I'm thinking whether to add Frax or not. I'm still thinking about it. And in terms of the chains, we are running TRON from day one, Ether, Binance Chain, and Solana.
Okay.
Because we still have this expertise in Rust, we need to use it somewhere, right?
Right.
And we added Polygon like a few months ago, just because their community is quite popular and they wanted a way to be connected to Tron, and there are not so many options out there in the world, if you think about it. I'm thinking about adding Arbitrum next. It seems to be getting traction, but overall, my approach to the stable bridge is that I really try to do what the users are asking me to. For the original bridge, I got 18 chains, and I've got all this stuff you can maybe not even be thinking about. So I will give you an example.
Okay.
I have on Classic Bridge, I have Tezos. Do you know many bridges to Tezos? No. I've got XRP Ledger. Oh, really? I'm running right now Stellar. I've got native Near. I will have Stacks, even Stacks. I don't think there is another bridge to Stacks. I hope to deploy it in April. You know, stacks, they went like really popular after the CryptoPunks came to Bitcoin chains. So stacks exploded after that. So I'm really targeting on the classic bridge, the chains that other bridges are not supporting, because this is my ultimate goal, to connect all chains together, hence the name Allbridge.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
So you said you had classic and
Core. The second bridge we call core. Probably we need to somehow rebrand it, but yeah.
Is there a third product?
There might be a third product. I'm right now. So what I've been thinking a lot is this use case. It is connected to what we do. It is connected to bridges. I encountered it myself. Whenever we do the salary payments on chain, we are in this position when a lot of, if we don't take the centralized exchanges into equation, and we shouldn't, because a lot of good startups lost money on FTX, which is true and sad. They kept treasuries there, they paid employees from the exchange, they lost the money. Now companies are closing down, which is sad. So I'm always trying to keep the funds for the company, the treasury, like really on chain outside of any centralized entities. So what we do want to do now is, let's imagine the situation when we are having funds in USDC, for example, on Ethereum. This is a lot of startups do that. So this is like a treasury. We are holding funds there. Now the payday comes and we want to pay people. We don't want to do that on Ethereum. No way we're doing that.
Yeah.
And probably we will be doing that in USDT on TRON, for the reason that it is most widely adopted in our part of the world. And for people, if they want to go to OTC desks and exchange crypto or withdraw crypto, using USDT on TRON, it is the easiest solution. So here we've got USDC on Ethereum. Here we want to pay 100 people USDT on TRON. Now, we already got the bridge in the middle, but now how do we make sure this transaction is properly private, so that it is impossible for people to see how much each other of them are earning, and they cannot see the treasury too. This is what I'm trying to solve, and this is the third product I'm building right now, and I really want it to be tied to Tron ecosystem. I think that this idea, this concept of people getting money on Tron distributed in a properly private way, it is really important. And I think it would be highly beneficial for Tron ecosystem. So I have high hopes for that.
That's a really cool idea.
That's a great problem to understand, that is a problem out there and you're trying to solve it. I love how you broke that down. That's a very great way of doing that. Thank you.
I wonder how you would even like do that part, because that's a good point. Is you want to pay everybody, let's say, on the blockchain, but you don't want people to know how much everyone's getting paid and then see the whole treasury. That is a
Now, I'm not sure if ZK Starks solves part of that problem or just a bit. I know there's some on Tron, but I haven't done the due diligence of looking into how deep that goes into, but I'm sure that probably plays a factor in somewhere.
I will be super happy to share with you my findings. I think I will do another week or 2 or 3 of research. I am putting down the internal technical paper describing how this may work. Then I can show you, and I would be glad if you can provide some feedback.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome.
We definitely
can. I guess another question I have for you is, so you have built on a lot of different chains, you're continuing to do more. Do you notice, like, let's say to deploy on one chain, does it take the same amount of time and effort, or is it like one chain is trickier than the other, or you need to learn something new, or something's not working right? Like, is it harder to build on different chains, or is everything plug and play for you at this point?
Well, of course, it is harder to build on other chains. That is exactly why my business exists, because of the technical complications in building, other bridges are not doing that. If that would be straightforward, we would see tons of bridges doing non-EVMs to EVMs, right? And that is not the case. That is not what we're seeing. But I do have to say that over the course of the years, we have got a lot of expertise that is actually helping us right now. So we encounter so many problems that in 90%, we have typical solutions for them. I wouldn't say in 100%, but it is still sometimes it gets hard, but it is doable.
Nice. Okay, so then how long would you say, let's say a new blockchain comes out, or like you want to tackle a new chain to connect from, let's say, beginning to end, how long do you think it would take to deploy on that new chain?
I would say if we properly prioritize that, and this chain is completely different from everything else. So it is another programming language, it is another ecosystem. So this is not the case where we can use the previous data. I would say 6 to 8 weeks to have some.
Pretty quick. That's good.
But
Okay.
I wouldn't call that the final product. It would probably need some extra testing. But again, because we have worked with so many chains already, it is a little bit easier for us.
Right. That makes sense. You have a lot of expertise on the matter, and yeah, those chains could be anything. I remember hearing about like the Facebook one that was Sui, I think it was, and that was I'm sure you guys looked at that as well.
Like
And
Facebook, like whenever Facebook was trying to come out with their own blockchain in the beginning.
yeah, there was
Yes.
Libra, and then there
They
was
had two,
and then it forked.
Then it forked to Sui, I believe.
Well, I know Libra they wanted to launch, and then they changed it to Diem, DIEM. Like when people get a per diem, they made the name Diem. But that was like, I think the token or something, and then they just dropped the whole everything. They dropped it. They even said that they're like sunsetting their NFTs at the moment. They were going to deploy NFTs on Instagram and Facebook, and they're like, not right now. We're going to try and focus on encouraging content creators another way. But I know that once the bull market comes back, which it looks like it is, then all these big companies are going to start coming back in more into the NFTs, crypto, blockchain, and just the whole ecosystem.
For sure. Still 2 chains spinned off already, Aptos and Sui. And actually at Denver, I heard about third chain, which is originally also having its roots from the Facebook chain. Let me double check the name.
Yeah,
I haven't had the opportunity to look into it just yet, but it was interesting. Fuel, FUEL. People told me that this is another version of the Facebook original blockchain, and it also uses Move as its programming language, but I haven't looked at it just yet. I heard it in Denver.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely want to look that up more. How long were you in Denver?
6 nights.
Ooh, nice. Did you meet a lot of cool people? It was so much fun. Like when I was there, I didn't want to leave. It was awesome.
I do actually regret not going to the mountains for the retreat. Yep. I think that would be super cool. Maybe I will try to do it next year.
Maybe I'll join you because I kept looking. I woke up every morning and just look in the mountains for like 5 minutes.
I was like, I should be over there right now. I was like, maybe I should just call out sick for this event for today, but be in the mountains.
So beautiful. I wish I could. I make that my screen for my computer. It was just so gorgeous. I loved it. So one last question we'll ask you, just in general, and since you built Allbridge and you've built these different bridges for all these chains, what challenges do you and your partner see, not only for your company, which can be one part of the question, but what are some challenges that as an industry that you've seen as Web3, blockchain, crypto, because it's always kind of been encompassed into just one industry. What challenges do you see all of us facing moving forward, and what challenges have you seen for your company as well? So it's a 2-part question.
Okay, so first of all, I think that whenever we speak about decentralized solutions, including bridges, we need to understand that the user experience still is far from perfect. And it is really hard to get new people, new crowd joining in, because the learning curve, it is steep. It really is. You need to understand there is a wallet here, a wallet there. There sometimes are different wallets in their nature, how that works, how do you sign the transactions. I mean, we are trying to do that. to simplify things. But to be honest, we are still far from that point when my grandma can log in online with her, Tron wallet and send the money. It is just too hard to do that at the moment, and maybe it will get better over time. But we need to work on that collectively, like wallets, bridges, foundations. We all need to think how can we make the life for the users better and easier.
Yes.
So this is one challenge.
Extremely important.
Completely agree. That's probably the challenge I would have said too as well. So
yeah, the biggest challenge I would say is user friendliness.
It is indeed. Now, second part where I have seen some dramatic shift, it was after Luna collapsed. We lost this cross-chain crowd. So the cool part about lunatics, how they called them, was that they were constantly jumping around the chain. They were really playing this DeFi game. And when Luna went down, we lost a lot of good people in the space. Those that already had an experience and understanding how to properly utilize different chains together, which is sad. I mean, we will maybe see some incentives, some other cool projects that would attract people again to the cross-chain space. And we all agree that the future is multi-chain, but sometimes because of the troubles with user experience, it is really hard to make people feel that future. So like 90% of my friends still, what they do in crypto, they deposit the money on Binance, they sometimes buy and sell there. That's it. So they are not really using all those protocols. That will eventually change, but for now it is what it is. So yeah, we need to improve user experience. We need to improve user interfaces. We need to think of proper way of educating people and making them motivated to go in and start exploring. I think this is something that is seriously important for all of us, no matter what we do at any single point. Of course, whenever we see the bull market, whenever we see the market is rising, new people are coming in, they're looking for earning some money, and they are starting to play in here and there with different protocols. And our job here is to just make their life easier and better.
There you go.
That was a perfect answer.
Wonderfully said. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate that. That was fantastic. Do you have any questions for us, or did you want to have any sort of conversation about us with Tron or partnerships? I'm sure this is a great opportunity for that.
Anything at all.
Yeah.
So I'm personally really excited right now at building those new financial products for paying people and making it properly. And when I will have the documents ready, I would be super happy to share, as I mentioned with you, because for me, for whatever concerns payments, USDT on Tron is the #1 payment option that we have at the moment. So I think that by working together, we can really get the users and ecosystem some new cool tools with my help, with your help. And also what is more important here, I want to attract more users from other chains to Tron ecosystem, showing them how cheap and efficient transactions here might be and how easy it is to later on operate with USDT on TRC20 USDT for withdrawals, for Odyssey desks, etc., etc. This is what I would love to explore more in details. Maybe if you can share with me and everyone who is watching us some insights, what are your priorities as the foundation? Where are you going? What for you is important? Which projects are important would be helpful too?
Ejaz, I'm gonna let you handle this one.
I mean, I know like one of our best kind of narratives moving forward is being the global settlement layer. So I think what you mentioned is kind of right on track of what we're looking for in how to kind of keep growing Tron, bringing more users on. You know, we have our hackathons, we have our giveaways, we have our grants, but I think our main goal is to attract more users, developers on the blockchain for Tron and be able to use like the bridge like you have or other solutions to help kind of bring people on the platform and realize how easy it is to send money without having, you know, a third party bank. Like we've seen the banks kind of go last couple of weeks or so. So that's our main initiative. And I think anything involving that particular narrative is what we're looking to kind of invest our time and money in, and kind of see if we can build a solution for everyone involved, for a global settlement layer. So that's our main mission. And we're hoping to find different solutions, different projects to work for. It's not just all about what our core developers are creating, but what other developers are making on Tron, and how we can kind of help those projects become flourish, so they can kind of be used, and we can also help those out as well.
Yep,
I'm on my.
No, you can go.
I just wanted to say that on my side, I would be super happy to provide the infrastructure layer for the liquidity flowing into Tron ecosystem for other developers that are interested in getting users from other chains coming in. So I've got an SDK ready. So whenever other developers want, let's imagine someone who's got USDC on Ether that wants to transfer funds and deposit them into the protocol on Tron, I would be super happy to handle the stablecoin transfer part on the back end, providing this functionality. I think that would be beneficial for all of us.
That would be so beneficial.
I think, yeah, we'll definitely try it out. And I think maybe we can get together on a meeting sometime and talk about how that looks like, so we can kind of properly inform people who do want to do that on how to do that. Kind of almost like you mentioned earlier, creating a good UX user interface and education on how to do so people understand how that works. I think that would be great.
EJS, think about this, and I might cut this off the recording just so it doesn't spoil any future things, but let's say his Allbridge idea, what if that was like integrated into...
I think it's a good idea. And Andre, to be transparent, and maybe I'll just pause it for just a second. All right. So one last question from Hunter.
Oh, I didn't even think of it yet.
I think it's your part.
Didn't we ask? Because we covered a ton of different things. I know you also did like a cool intro about yourself. We covered what Allbridge is all about, and I'll probably add some like pictures or maybe some screen recordings of like showing off your website and things like that.
I have one. Okay, I have one.
What's your question? Yeah,
it'll kind of wrap everything together that Andre and us have talked about. But the question simply is, how do you see the collaboration of Tron and Allbridge working together to create a positive impact for the blockchain community? How do you envision that in a way?
Perfect last question.
Yes, it is super cool, and I think it corresponds to everything that we discussed so far. So I would be happy to do two things. First of all, work together on providing the infrastructure for getting liquidity from other chains flowing into Tron, and users arriving at Tron chain and using it to its best capabilities, best possibilities, actively using USDT, which is very much essential to it right now. Possibly we can consider other stables too, including USDD. But generally, I think that the way to go is to show people that their path to Tron is now as smooth, as easy to go through as ever, and they should come and explore. And this is the message we are trying to send to the crowd. Hey guys, come here, please. Look, it is easy, it is beneficial for you, please join. And the second thing that we should work together is creating the next generation of financial products that will help various crypto talents, various crypto startups to make their life easier and to show that they're building it on top of Tron and the assets available on Tron. And this is other option that we should actively pursue together.
Love it. And I can't wait to the future, and I hope we get to keep working together. Andre, it's been a pleasure. It's great that you guys joined the hackathon last season, and were able to win some money, and hopefully you're able to use that prize to kind of help your project build more and kind of continue on. So love to hear that. Glad you got on board with us today for this ATB. I wish we could chat a little bit more in Denver, but I'm glad we get to talk here today. And glad that you and Hunter met. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day, and we look forward to talking very, very soon.
Thank you so much for this conversation. I'm super glad that you invited me here, and we had an opportunity to discuss all those amazing things that we can build together. And I look look forward to see you in the nearest future in April, either here or there. We'll see a number of places when we can meet each other. Hunter, it is super happy for me to get to know you, and I also hope to see you in person quite soon.
Yes, let's do it.
I think Hunter's going to New York for NFT NYC, and I think we might be there in Austin for Consensus. We're hoping. So hopefully we'll be there.
There's 3 places I know I'm going to be, which is the NFT NYC, Consensus in Texas, and then BTC Miami. So if you're going to be at one of those 3 or all of them, I'll be there.
I will definitely try to make my way to Consensus. I'm not sure if I'm really an NFT person, so that is the one that the chances are a bit small.
You can get to Consensus. We're having a whale party, which is like a private, really big, awesome party. That's a day before Consensus starts. So it's like the 20th.
Make sure you invite me. I will come for sure.
You are invited. 100%. If you can get to Texas, just DM that you're going there and you're coming. You can go to that party. It'll be nuts.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, and we hope to talk to you very soon, Andre. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Real pleasure.
Thank you. Talk soon.